Album of the Month.
What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another album of the month, this time for March 2019, and I couldn't be more excited than to be talking to you about Dido and her new album, Still on My Mind. And Dido, you are still on our mind, even though it's been 6 years since your last album. Your fans are rallying behind you, and for good reason. I mean, this is her 5th studio LP, 20 years after her debut smash, No Angel, which had hits like Here With Me and Thank You, and then a few years later, White Flag from Life for Rent. I mean, she had just took the world by storm in the early 2000s, and I was definitely wrapped up in that storm because I just love the feel of her music. It's so chill, kind of laid back acoustic, but then you've got these kind of trip hop beats mixed into it that give it a different feel, and just that angelic, soulful voice of Dido and her beautiful melodies. And she is bringing it just like she was back then. And I think a big part of that is that she told her new record label she would not do this album without her brother Rolo, who did the production on her debut record and throughout much of her career. And he's just so good at translating her music into these fully formed ideas with his production, with his musical choices and his taste. You can really tell they're kind of hearkening back to those glory days. And of course, Dido isn't reinventing any wheels here, not even for her own standards, but it's just so good. From the opener of Hurricanes, which is a slow burner, it's just that voice and an electric guitar playing softly, and then it builds up to these different beats and rhythms to where it's just, it never quite climaxes in a huge, grandiose way, the way like a song like Here With Me from, the early 2000s did, but it's still just, it leaves you satisfied, and it's a great opening track. Then that goes straight into Give You Up, which is a real highlight of this record. Another ballad, slow song, but it's, in typical Dido fashion, a kind of a, I'm gonna move on, this is a heartbreak, but, and she says it in such a kind of cruel way, I'm gonna rip your heart out. But with the way that she sings so softly and beautifully, it's like, okay, Dido, please rip my heart out, no problem, here you go. But it's really just a beautiful, heart-wrenching song that I think is up there with some of her best work. That gives way to Hell After This, which is another highlight of this record and a little more upbeat now. It's got kind of a Latin rhythm and feel to it. It has some kind of synthesized horns that sound really cool, and also some sort of soulful R&B background vocals, which are really cool in the mix. And then she's basically, the idea of the song is, if there's hell after this, I'm going to enjoy life while I can, which is kind of what most Latin dance music has the same sentiment these days. So I totally get that she's kind of borrowing from that feel, but it works really well on this song. It's kind of still a little laid back, but upbeat, makes you want to put your teeth out like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And then a few songs after that, there's a song called Take You Home, which is totally like, you feel like you're in the club. It's got that pulsing rhythm, and you definitely want to dance along. I would say most of the record is more of the chill, the toned down, the ballads, and I think really that is where this album shines. So Dido is really playing to her strengths here. She knows what they are, and she goes for it. And I think it couldn't be any better than on the ending track of side A, Some Kind of Love. This song is just so beautiful, so well written. The acoustic guitar just sounds so warm, and it's kind of a nostalgic song about a young girl and her record collection and yearning for some kind of love. And it's, I think, a song that anybody can relate to. And it just, I don't know, there's just kind of this joy that permeates from this song. It just has a real warmth and light to it that I really love, and I think it's definitely, bar none, my favorite song on the record. And then, the record, I don't feel like it's over long. I do feel like towards side B on the album, it does tend to get a little repetitive because Dido does have sort of one signature style, but that's okay. I really like it, and I think the album is very well rounded. Especially the last track is kind of an echo of Some Kind of Love. It's called Have to Stay, and she wrote it about her son who was born, I think, in the last few years or so. She's a new mother, and it's just you can really tell that her heart and soul was in that song. A really beautiful closing track, and just overall, a great record. If I had to give this a grade right now, I would have to say I would give this a strong 7.5 out of 10. I highly recommend it. If you're a fan of Dido, I mean, you cannot go wrong here. Her and Rollo have put together just a really strong collection of songs, and I hope that there's not this much or long of a gap between her next album. But if you're new to Dido, or if you've never heard of her, definitely give this a listen, because no matter what kind of music that you enjoy, this is going to hit you on some level in no matter what you like, because it's just good music. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave in the comments below what you think of this new album, and let me know what you want to see more of on this channel. I've got top fives every Friday. We got album reviews, Viva La Vinyl, classic album reviews, Heart of an Artist podcast, and so much more. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, Viva La Vinyl. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out some of my other content that you can see on the screen now. Thank you again for supporting Johnny Radio. Take care, and I'll see you soon.